situation. Always trust your gut.
Hello, my name is Chrissy Champagne. You are listening to Residue, a true crime podcast dedicated to keeping you paranoid. Residue is not just another true crime podcast, but a necessary tool for those who want to understand the dangers lurking in the real world. Residue is created, hosted, edited, researched, and produced by me, Chrissy Champagne. If you would love to help out the show, the best thing to do would be hit that follow button and also leave a 5-star review. If you do leave a 5-star review, I will be mailing out cute little stickers and thank you notes because I do appreciate you all so very much. And you can follow me on Instagram at Residue Podcast, Facebook Residue A True Crime Podcast, and TikTok at Chrissy Champagne or Residue A True Crime Podcast. Okay, so now that we got all of that out of the way, let's get into our story today. And as you know, listener discretion is always advised. Before we begin, please be advised that this episode contains depictions of violence, emotional abuse, and allegations of sexual coercion involving a minor. If you or someone you know needs help, resources are listed in the show notes, including crisis hotlines and support organizations. Bloomfield, Connecticut is the kind of small town where Friday nights mean one thing: football. The bleachers are filled, and for a few hours, life seems simple. But on November 21st, 2013, the cheering stopped. A rising star in the community, an 18-year-old football captain with a bright future, found himself covered in blood, standing over a dying man. And this dying man? His best friend. Terrence T.J. Mitchell was the pride of Bloomfield High School. At just 18 years old, he was the captain of the football team, fast, focused, and talented enough to have scouts whispering about college ball, maybe even the NFL. Everyone wanted to be TJ, and for many girls at Bloomfield High, they wanted to be with TJ. But TJ had eyes for only one person, Brittany Jenkins. She was a smart, beautiful 17-year-old girl. But there was another person in TJ's life, someone he called a brother, someone who rarely missed a game. And this was 27-year-old Ronald Taylor Jr. Now, these two hung out constantly, playing video games, smoking weed together, listening to records, and to many, Ronald was just a big brother figure to this teenage athlete. But on November 21st, 2013, everything changed. At 11:46 p.m., a 911 call came in. There was a fight, possibly a stabbing. When police arrived, they found two figures on the lawn outside of TJ Mitchell's home. Both were covered in blood, one standing, one crumpled on the grass. The standing figure was TJ Mitchell. The man on the ground, stabbed 19 times but still clinging to life, was Ronald Taylor Jr. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital, but sadly, Ronald Taylor would not make it. TJ told officers that two men in hoodies and black sweats attacked them in the dark, and TJ tried to fight them off. He tried to, and he ended up getting a lot of deep cuts and bruises to show for it. But nothing was stolen. No demands were made. So why would someone want to kill Ronald Taylor Jr.? Why would they want to stab him 19 times and leave TJ standing? Friends let detectives know that TJ was a golden boy. He was driven, talented, loved. His girlfriend Brittany is incredibly distraught right now, and she's telling the detectives that TJ was everything. Everyone loved TJ. Who would do this to him? But Ronald, on the other hand, well, Ronald had a reputation. He was known in town as the weed dealer for all of the high school kids. Some knew him as the guy you could count on to get high, and others knew more. So detectives learned that back in 2012, Ronald had been stabbed by a 16-year-old named Hank Burnett after allegedly sharing his stash with Hank. Hank was locked up, but investigators confirmed that he was still in juvenile detention the night that Ronald was killed. So, this wasn't Hank coming back for revenge. This wasn't about a drug deal gone wrong. And while police are investigating these drug dealer allegations, they start talking to TJ more and they ask him, what exactly was your relationship with Ronald? And TJ tells them, he was just a big brother to me. He was my best friend. And okay, this is where the story lost me. Because TJ was 16 years old when he met Ronald. Ronald was 27. A 16-year-old boy hanging out with a 27-year-old. Now, at first, you can think, okay, maybe he is like a big brother to him. He is guiding him. But no. Ronald actually introduced TJ to drinking and smoking weed at 16 years old. TJ would go hang out at Ronald's house and the two would listen to records. They would smoke weed. They would play video games. This is an unlikely duo. 16 years old, 27 years old. I think something might be wrong with that. But as detectives are interviewing TJ, he tells them that he just really looked up to Ronald. That Ronald made him feel like a person. He didn't feel like a kid when he was around Ronald. He loved feeling like an equal. Finally, detectives get a break because after the crime, Ronald's car was impounded. So detectives ask if they can sweep that car again and see if they notice anything different this time around. And this time, they do find Ronald's cell phone. They search it and they find out that Ronald was gay. Now, no one knew this. So police are thinking, is this a new motive? Was this a hate crime? Investigators notice that Ronald's cell phone contained numerous text conversations with TJ, and in a lot of these conversations, the two of them are saying back and forth, ILY and LY2, which means I love you and I love you too. Ronald sent TJ a text that read,
when someone is in love with someone, small things matter. Ask your coach. Real men talk. I just why you to know, bae.
Detectives also notice a lot of I miss yous and I love yous. Ronald and TJ were romantically involved. But why would TJ lie to detectives about this? TJ is asked to come down to the station for a formal interview, and detectives ask him to explain the text. When confronted, TJ denied any romance. He said Ronald had forced him, that this was not consensual, that he felt trapped. And for 2 years, he said, Ronald used threats and shame to keep their encounters a secret. TJ says that he felt like he was being held hostage. TJ admits that he kept the relationship going for 2 years, but it was because he was being forced. Ronald kept telling him he would tell everyone in town that TJ was gay and tell everyone about their relationship. But TJ says this was not a relationship, and no, it wasn't. TJ was 16 when this man started to groom him. He was forced into this and didn't want it. He says that Ronald knew that he wasn't gay and he didn't care. They never discussed it. He said that Ronald just made a move on him. TJ tried to talk to him and said he just wanted a friendship, but Ronald wanted more. He didn't know what to do. He was in shock, and Ronald wouldn't stop. He is a child. He has no capacity to figure out how to get out of this situation on his own, and he didn't want to tell anybody. TJ describes the first night that anything happened to the detectives, and he says that he was too drunk and too high to stop anything. He was also just embarrassed and uncomfortable. He said when he woke up in the morning, Ronald didn't show any remorse, and TJ tried to leave the house, but Ronald threatened him and said that he would tell everyone that they did this all the time. Detectives start canvassing the neighborhood, and then a witness. The neighbor across the street told detectives that she saw the stabbing, and it wasn't two hooded men. It was just one attacker, no hoodies, no sweats, just a tall, young man, no older than 20. It was TJ, and now slowly TJ's story began to change. TJ tells detectives that he wasn't gay, that he felt as if he was forced to sleep with Ronald, and TJ still liked girls, and girls liked him, and that pissed Ronald off. Ronald went insane. He was so jealous. He would chastise TJ for the way he texted girls, telling girls that he loved them and missed them. He says that TJ didn't show him the same level of affection. Well, TJ's a kid, Ronald. Sorry, this story, very hard to tell. I just want to keep punching my laptop screen every time I have to read something like that. So, of course, Ronald finds out that TJ is dating 17-year-old Brittany, and he finds this out because he goes to TJ's football game, sits in the parking lot, and stalks him. He sees TJ and Brittany making out, and then Ronald contacts TJ and says, "What the fuck?" And TJ knew immediately that there was going to be trouble. And as expected, TJ gets a text from Ronald only a few hours later, and this text asks TJ to come over to his house. Ronald asks who Brittany is, and TJ tells Ronald that, you know what, this is over. This little secret affair that we have going on, it's done. And Ronald freaks out, like scary freak out. But TJ says, no, I don't care. It's done. We're done. And now I want to just stop to point out here that at this point, TJ is 18 years old. He is a senior in high school. And I looked up the age of consent in Connecticut. It is 17 years old. I call bullshit on that. I'm just saying my opinion. 17, not old enough to decide, in my opinion. And also, if you're one of those people that waits for someone to turn the age of consent, you can go fuck yourself too, because that's fucking disgusting. The fact is that this child at age 16 was groomed by a 27-year-old man that he trusted. Sorry for the sidetrack. So TJ tells Ronald that they are done, and Ronald says to him, no, it's going to get bad. Real bad, real quick. And it does. Ronald goes to social media, goes straight to Facebook in his rage, and he posts a picture of TJ in his football uniform, and he captions it, Bloomfield's gay football star. And then he tags TJ and posts it on TJ's wall. So Ronald outed TJ on Facebook. TJ sees this. He calls Ronald and he begs him to take this down. Can you take this down before my team, my coach, my friends, my family sees this? And Ronald says, okay, yeah, I'll take it down if you break up with Brittany. So TJ goes along with Ronald's demands, but he does not break up with Brittany. Ronald started stalking TJ and Brittany on social media and real life. And on the night of the stabbing, TJ receives an ominous message from Ronald. It read,
"We're going to have a real long talk, and I don't think it's going to end well."
I mean, TJ is scared out of his mind. He sees this message and he doesn't know what to do. He thinks he has to take precautions. So he goes into his kitchen, he grabs a knife, and he waits for Ronald to pull up to his house. When Ronald gets to TJ's house, he tells TJ, get in this car now. And TJ got in. And once he got in, Ronald confronted him about Brittany. He's screaming at TJ. He's telling him, give me your fucking phone. Give me your phone. And TJ does not want to give him his phone. So Ronald is fighting with him. He grabs the phone away from TJ and he pulls up Brittany's text. And now Ronald is reading the text between Brittany and TJ, and these two are in love, and Ronald starts getting so upset. He starts punching TJ, and that is when TJ pulls the knife out and stabs him over and over. And Ronald tries to escape, but TJ, in his mind, he's just thinking, I just want this all to end. He's always felt like a prisoner and his mind is going crazy and he doesn't know how to control himself. TJ stabbed Ronald 19 times. And when police arrived to the scene, TJ lied. He made up a story about the hooded attackers. He didn't know what to say. The news is out now and the entire town is just stunned that this happened, that this future NFL star, this golden boy is a killer. But if TJ's story is correct, then TJ is also a victim. The district attorney wrestled with the complexities of this case. I mean, TJ's age, the possibility of sexual coercion, the trauma, the mental strain of being closeted or being manipulated. In October 2014, TJ Mitchell accepted a plea deal. He pled guilty to manslaughter, and he was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Once released, he would serve 8 years of supervised parole. The relationship between Ronald and TJ raises a difficult but necessary question. Was TJ a victim of grooming? Yes, I do believe he was. And legally and ethically, grooming happens when an adult builds trust with a younger person, often to manipulate or coerce them into a sexual relationship. Ronald was 27. TJ was a minor when this began. He says he was scared, confused, ashamed, that he didn't know how to make it stop. And some will point to TJ's age and strength, and others will ask why he didn't tell someone. But trauma isn't logical. Fear, especially the fear of being outed, is a powerful silencer. This case is complex. It's emotional. It involves allegations of sexual coercion, power dynamics, mental health struggles, and I just want to be clear, nothing justifies the taking of a life. Ronald Taylor was a son, a friend, a human being who did not deserve to die, but at the same time, we owe it to the truth to explore the circumstances that led to this tragedy, including the allegations that TJ Mitchell was groomed and manipulated over several years. TJ Mitchell's mother expressed her condolences to Ronald Taylor's family, but said the charges didn't mesh with what she knew of her son. She stated, "My son is a good kid. He's never been in trouble. My son is not a murderer." Stay safe and stay paranoid.